Give us knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and counsel.
Good morning. We are the 13th of September, the 24th Sunday of Ordinary Time. This Sunday we are finishing the reading of Matthew's chapter 18, the Community Discourse. After last Sunday's fraternal correction, here is now a teaching of Jesus about forgiveness. The Gospel opens by a question from Peter to Jesus. When my brother does wrong against me, how many times must I forgive him? Up to 7 times? Not 7 times, says Jesus, but 70 times 7. Where does this number comes from? We read in the book of Genesis, in a rather sordid poem, that Cain is avenged 7 times, but Lamech will be avenged 70 times. 7 being already the perfect number, that means that we must always forgive. To vengeance and endless violence, Jesus contrasts with unlimited forgiveness. This is a beautiful introduction to the parable that follows, specific to Matthew. Jesus proposes the parable of the ruthless debtor. To better understand it, we divide it into 3 sections. First of all, a debtor comes to intercede with the king so that he may have patience when he is deeply indebted to him. He owes him a big amount of money. The king not only does not demand the payment of this debt, but cancels it altogether. Second segment of the parable. As soon as the debtor leaves the king, he finds a colleague who owes him a very small amount of money. The debtor begs him to be patient, but the man categorically refuses and has him thrown in jail until his family collects the money to pay the debt. In the third episode, the affair is reported to the king by witnesses who are scandalized by the attitude of the debtor who had no mercy. What will the king do? He will forget the clemency he had shown to the debtor at first in order to deliver him to the executioner. This disproportion between the 2 debts is so great that it justifies the fate that awaits the ruthless debtor. There is perhaps no better commentary on the end of the Lord's Prayer than this. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who trespass against us. We must forgive because we have been forgiven. God does not keep a record of our faults. He always forgives every time we beg His forgiveness. His mercy towards us is infinite. He invites us to imitate Him. I once met a person who had difficulty forgiving and was very unhappy about it. Might be your case. She could not free herself from what had once hurt her. She dragged this suffering with her, and it made life impossible for her. I had noticed that she could hardly smile. I told her that she did not have to bear the burden of this resentment and that she had to make the decision of forgiveness. Yes, it is a decision to forgive with all one's heart. I saw this person again sometimes later, and I found her transformed, liberated. The chains that bound her to the offense she had suffered had been broken. She had found back her smile again. Jesus, in the end, does not really answer Peter's question, how many times must I forgive my brother? We are in constant debt before the superabundant grace of God in our favor. So we must forgive with all our heart. Grant us, Lord, to draw from your mercy so that this page of the gospel may have a fruitful echo in the bonds that unite us as couple, as family, in community, or at work. Forgiveness is a precious gift, as much for the one who grants it as for the one who receives it.
Give us knowledge, wisdom.